We talk about the Bronx Rising, and that's like our goal. When Barnes & Noble, which was the only bookstore in the Bronx, closed, people started saying, oh, the Bronx is a book desert. And I'm like, it cannot be a desert. Desert means barren, nothing's available. There are 35 branch libraries. Think of it as 35 bookstores where you get everything for free. Working in a library was definitely something I felt I needed to do. Coming to the United States at 13, I enjoyed visiting the public library and just learning the United States, what it's about. So what I feel it allowed me to do, visiting the public library, learning and growing, it helped me navigate the world differently and change my narrative. In my heart of hearts, I knew that librarianship was for me. And I started March 27th, 2000 at the Woodstock Branch Library. I fell in love with the community, and I am very proud to say 19 years later, I found my true passion, you know, my joy, working in a public library. I oversee 35 branch locations. So the library managers, then the associate directors who report to me, they just make sure all the day-to-day things are happening. You know, I spend a lot of time in meetings, right? Just advocating for the branches, helping with new initiatives as they roll out, being their voice in that room in terms of the workload and the workflow and what needs to happen. You know, it's very important for a public to feel like they can relate to the staff and the services that's being offered. So we moved away from like cookie cutter, that everybody do it the same way in terms of the types of programs they offer. So it really comes down to the library manager and the staff, you know, focused on what their community needs are. And then, you know, talking through what that looks like. And that's when I become the advocate, in the sense they'll come back and say, Gesille, we really need translation devices. So when we go out to outreach, if it's the one Bengali speaker we have in the branch and she happens to be out, it doesn't stop service. We can still get out to the public. So it's just like working through, you know, what some of those barriers are. I'm tired of hearing that, oh yeah, people in the Bronx don't read, but it's like, how are we connecting? Like, how are we meeting those users where they are? And if it has to come down to entertaining people to do that, it's like, hey kids, come in, we have gaming. And then we start talking about coding. And, you know, how do you become a coder? How do you learn this as a skill? And it's finding ways to connect with those, you know, those users. A lot of times, you know, people walk into a building and we don't know their story, you know, their background, but just being open to providing quality service. We recently, for advocacy, the young kid who talked about the fact that his dad couldn't afford after school care, so he would come to the library after school every day. Prior to that, his math grades were slipping, and the teacher noticed it. So at a parent-teacher conference, the teacher asked, hey, so what are you doing? We noticed your grades have improved. And the kid said, well, I go to the library every day, and the staff there help me. And I thought that was such a beautiful story to hear that his visit to the library every day changed his narrative in terms of he's doing better. And for me, it doesn't have to be, oh, we've changed the lives of millions of people. It's that one person, that one change. And then, you know, he pays it forward and talks about that experience when he goes off into the world, you know, and become a solid citizen. He'll remember the library.